What's up, everybody? We are here just riding out the storm. My dad is here as well. As you can see, he's kind of popping back and forth between my house and my sister's house. One of my sisters lives 2 seconds away from me, and both my sisters are over there with their families. And we are here just waiting to see what comes. Dennis Phillips is one of the weathermen we follow, Ryan Hall. And we're going to play a little bit of JB's coverage as well from WFLA. To shout his coverage if you guys are following the storm. I'm sure so many of you are. It's just kind of the beginning parts. There's like a rainstorm ahead of the actual Hurricane Milton that's hitting us right now. As you can see, raining, very minor wind, nothing. This is really nothing. If this was a Tuesday afternoon on a normal day, we wouldn't think anything of it. We get this much rain. You can kind of see my walkway between my pool house and my house full of water, but that happens all the time. We've got some mulch bags in some of the areas because they were out of sand to try and block the water coming in. Yeah, a lot of people shouting out Ryan Hall. Y'all, let me know what you guys watch. If you're in Florida or elsewhere, what do you watch to follow any storms, whether they're in your area or not? Of course, there may be Wi-Fi issues here since we are sitting outside of my house during hurricane. So we're here. No flood issues. We're not a flood zone or anything like that. So we shouldn't have any issues with that. Really, the only thing that could affect us that I could think of would be a tornado of some sort, which nothing you can really do if a tornado is coming your way. We've got a spot in the pool house. We'll probably end up sleeping in the pool house tonight, but we've got a spot in there, no windows, fully secluded, interior only. So from my perspective, it's as good of a spot as we can be in. So that's where we will be tonight. What I was planning on doing in this video is just kind of telling you what we did as far as like getting everything ready. So you guys can kind of see what it looks like here, that everything's fine. Nothing really major going on, a little bit of wind, a little bit of rain. Tonight, I think, is when they're expecting it to start hitting hard. So we'll be praying that that is not as bad as it may seem or bad as it could be. We hope it continues to de-escalate and weaken. So that's kind of the plan for us. So we're going to do that. We're going to watch some of JB's coverage, 5 or 10 minutes of that. And then I'm going to answer your questions for a little bit and also give you some of my favorite and my dad's favorite hurricane movies and food. If we hunker down, if we have no power, we've downloaded a bunch to our iPads, to our phones, things like that. So we are going to get into it and start with some of the hurricane prep. I've got my phone here, so I think I can move it around a little bit. So if you see behind me, we have a bunch of pool furniture and stuff. All that's gone. I had a basketball hoop right in front of that RV garage. You can tell that's on its side. I took off the backboard, so no wind really is going to affect that. All of our furniture is inside. We have some mulch bags, like I said, in some area where there could be flooding. The really only flooding we would have is if there's a ton of rain, not from any storm surge. We're not in a storm surge area. My dad's house, unfortunately, in a storm surge area. And Hurricane Helene, which had, what was that, 6 feet of storm surge?
We had 8 feet of storm surge. Came within about a couple feet of being inside our house. We live right on the water. It totaled the boat, and we did some dock damage, but thank God it didn't go in the house.
Right, but it was a couple feet away, and so now with the storm surge looking like it could be 10 to 15 feet, he's not there. He wasn't there last time either, which is good. It's not worth it to risk that type of stuff in a storm surge area, house floods, electrical issues. Being an older stick type house, at least the second floor, just not the best idea to be there. So he's evacuated to our house and my sister's house.
As we always do, because we're in a zone A and too big a risk to stick around.
Yeah, it looks like it froze here for a second. Internet might be flickering. It looks like it came back. We'll see if it catches up. Let's reload here. All right, we're back. Internet, we expect to have issues, obviously. So we'll go as long as we can. And we'll hang for as long as we can. If the internet fully goes out, looks like the phone is out. All right, so my phone camera is out. It's fine. You guys get the gist. What we're going to do here for a second now is put on some of JB's coverage just so you guys can kind of see, and we'll talk to you about what we're looking at, what we follow, what's important to us as we sit here waiting for the hurricane. And I'm going to have JB's coverage on kind of 2x speed or 1.5 times speed, because what they're saying, this is probably from 30 minutes ago. So it is moving towards us. The track keeps changing. It keeps wobbling, as they say, but we'll just take a little listen to what they're saying on JB's channel.
To see your high school there on that shot. I'll note that from our team, we do have a backup location. In fact, Eric, probably a good time to at least tell our audience about the plan with so
you. I mean, as much as I would like to stay here the next 16 hours with JB, which I really would, I'm going to Wesley Chapel. We're going to a hotel where we have a backup plan. So if this station does lose power, then, I would be broadcasting from there. We have a team that is on the way, and, that's what we'll be doing. So JB will have other meteorologists on here, and he'll be on all day long, and of course I'll be thinking about him, and that's just how you have to do things. You have to have a backup plan if things go out. We saw with Helene, we saw us lose power, and
so you can see these are all the different models, and if you see the little peninsula looking thing here where it says St. Petersburg and Tampa, we are probably here or here. Where are we? Here,
to the left, right there, the barrier island. Right
here,
to the left, yeah.
So this is where we are, where my arrow is. That's, if you guys can see my arrow, that's where my house is. My dad's house is like here, or no, here. So yeah, that's where you don't really want to be there right now, obviously. But as you can see, the spaghetti models have all gone a little bit south. They wobbled, or I guess, what is that, east? They've wobbled a little bit west. So we're just kind of wait to see exactly where it ends up. But either way, we're here. We're ready for however bad it gets. And you can kind of hear and see behind us the rain and the wind will go up and down. We'll listen to just a couple more minutes, but you can see the top of the storm is more wind and rain. The bottom of the storm is more storm surge. Wind and rain is scary and can be bad and can be annoying, but the storm surge is really the more catastrophic part of this storm. So they all say, like they say, whenever a storm starts coming, everybody becomes a meteorologist. So I'm pretending to be a meteorologist, kind of like when trials happen and they're big, everybody becomes a lawyer. So this is my chance to play meteorologist. So yeah, that's what they're saying. So we're expecting a lot of wind and rain because we're going to be right above it. But the storm surge seems to be worse, especially for the Tampa Bay area. That's going below now. It looks like Sarasota, Fort Myers area could get that. So Rosie's asking where I am in Florida. I'm in the St. Pete, Tampa area. So if you look on this map, you can see right where that is. That's kind of why I want to show you guys right where we are. And you can see where the storm is kind of tracking to get an idea of where we're at.
And the only place that didn't lose power in the building was right here. So we were able to stream because JB, he just hits the button. He knows what to do. Next thing you know, we're on the air on the 11 o'clock news, and we're streaming the 11 o'clock news from here. So we've got a backup to the backup.
Yeah. So folks, Eric will be leaving us in about 10 minutes or so, and that will, of course, take him away from tracking the tropics. However, his job is extremely important. He's on standby. If things go down here at WFLA, he's the first one, to basically pop up on air and provide coverage for our audience here in the Tampa Bay market. I will tell you that we have other meteorologists that are going to be coming in. Chief Meteorologist Jeff Baradelli is going to be coming in, and then really interesting, we have our sister station WSNN in Sarasota. Their chief meteorologist Justin Mosley is going to be coming in and providing coverage here on stream as well. Sarasota.
So I just realized I was on mute. Sorry. So you can see where the cone is. Right at the top of this cone is basically where we live. We're right above it. And it would be great for us, obviously, if it goes south or east, but really bad for other people. So we never really say we hope and pray it's going somewhere else. But we're just hoping and praying that at this point it's not catastrophic, that everybody is prepared, especially after Helene. Everybody kind of knows what this can do and what these storm surges can do. So they've protected as much as they could. Hopefully the people who flooded in Helene haven't really gotten much change. And so it's not going to be a double damage for them. There's still a lot of debris everywhere in Florida, which is really frustrating and annoying, but that's something we're worried about. Is we got rid of a lot of our debris, but not all of it, because we couldn't fit all of it. And so the dumps were closed. And so there's still some smaller pieces. Hopefully that wouldn't be major projectiles. I can't, Whitney's lipping something to me through the window.
I can tell you that it makes a difference where that cone is between total destruction of my house and whether or not we survive it. And we talk about the debris. Because I live on the beach, We have tons of debris still stacked up. They just couldn't possibly even get rid of it. And I'm worried about that flying all over the place, which is, what's going to happen, because we're supposed to get at least 100-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah, which I think we got like 80 mile an hour in Helene, because we had one of their big like strips that came through.
And it missed us. Helene really did miss us because it just went kind of parallel with Florida. This was going across Florida.
We got one of the like arms of it or whatever, where there were 80 mile an hour gusts. And that's the other thing is like, you learn when they give these, wind speeds, a lot of times it's what the heaviest gust is. It's not sustained winds. So, we're just dealing with it as they come. We don't really have anything besides the tree, I guess, that could blow over. I mean, I say besides the tree, we have some big trees back there. But they all are pretty far away from the house. So we'll see, we'll see what happens. I wouldn't expect that. My house has been here for 50 years. Yours has been there
74.
Yeah, 74 years. So I guess mine wasn't born in. Mine was built in 57 or 59 or
really?
something.
Yeah. Way before mine.
Oh, that's not 70 years.
Mine was built in 74.
Oh, 1974. So it hasn't been around 74 years.
No.
Yeah, mine was built in the
1974.
50s. His in the 70s. Lots of hurricanes have come through, but this could literally be the biggest one. So we'll see what happens. Ours has been redone. Hurricane clips, hurricane windows, hurricane doors, Cat 5 hurricane garage door. So everything is as prepared as it could possibly be here at our house. We're going to watch just a couple more minutes of JB, and then we'll get to some of the comments.
Right in the path of this storm, there's going to be a ton of questions about Sarasota. So to have Justin's expertise on the live stream is going to be extremely valuable. As we look there's the spaghetti models, Eric and Ed. So what are we seeing here on spaghetti?
You see the consensus again is pretty much Central Sarasota. Once it shifted yesterday and then it shifted again last night, I kind of figured, well, that's about it. I thought if it did shift south a little bit more, it might get down into southern Sarasota, like, right around Osprey and Venice area. But I think it's kind of honed in. But still, the consensus of the models, JB, not even 12 hours out. They're not really tightly packed. Helene, 3 days in advance, JB, if you remember, were very tightly packed. Of course, that's because it was moving in between two features. And we talked about this before. It didn't really have much of a choice. It had to kind of move west of the high, east of that upper level low. It didn't really have much play, right? But this one, it's interacting with a jet, and eventually it's going to interact with a front that, pushes this thing more east than north. So again, it's when is it going to turn here? When is it going to turn there? Is it going to be sooner than later? And as you can see right there on the model plots, one of the models, I believe that's a Canadian, which has been typically, pretty far south, is taking this into Charlotte County. But I think it's kind of too late for that because this is already almost due west of Collier County. And I've been looking on radar, and there has been a lot of spin-ups. Downtown Naples, downtown Fort Myers, Cape Coral, all under tornado warnings right now with that big band of rain that I had expected to cause some spin-ups. And looking at the radar, I can see, Naples, Fort Myers is getting hammered right now with that rain band. I'm assuming the winds are at least, 40, 50 miles an hour in that band, gusting even higher. So again, that band moves in, the tornadoes.
And that's kind of what it seems like is going on here, right? Rain, wind bands. Sandy asked if the tracker was just for the eye of the storm. So yeah, with the lines, the spaghetti model with all the lines is just where the eye of the storm is right here. You can see the white line going through the state, but the big red cone is everyone that's going to be affected. And just above and below that cone even get a lot.
And I've been here since 1956. And I got to tell you, it is possible that there could be a last minute shift. That's why I'm not totally comfortable yet, because there's enough time for it to make a shift. And that has happened before.
And they say closer to like 5, 6, 7 o'clock tonight, it's pretty much locked in because it's going to be hitting us just after that. So pretty much locked into where they think the eye is going. So obviously you guys, if you want to track this and where we are, where we are at this point and where the storm is going. And if it wobbles, what that means. And that's kind of why I wanted to give this update and tell you we're all fine. Somebody asked, Mitsame said, praying for your home, Papa T. Peter, how's Whitney doing? So this morning I was in there playing NCAA 25 because we had kind of already all prepped, and she walks in there and like, I could tell, by the look on her face, I was like, what's up? And she's like, are we done prepping? And I was like, I feel like we're done prepping. And she's like, with this, that, the other, she's like all over the place. I was like, all right. So I stopped, put the controller down and went and just did some like last minute stuff, cleared a couple things out. So basically everything is cleared out now. That's when I took the backboard off the basketball hoop because she was like mentioning that a couple days ago. I didn't think we were going to do that, but I just did it this morning. I was like, just to get everything, and she feels much better afterwards. So, everybody's got a little pre-storm anxiety. My mom as well, my sisters, everybody's got a little pre-storm anxiety, even though we never really have been hammered by a storm. What were you saying?
No, I'm just saying, I just got another alert, telling us there's a hurricane coming.
Yeah. In case we didn't know, there is a hurricane coming. All right, just a couple more minutes of JB, and then we'll get into your questions here.
spin-ups move in as well. And then there'll be a little break in the action, and then here we go again. But as far as the model plots go, you see the black. That's what we call the consensus. And, a lot of people say, well, what does consensus mean? But it's pretty.
And for everybody sending their prayers for us and that's been concerned about us and that's following it, thank you so much. Continue to pray. That's all we really ask for. We don't need anything else. We are good to go. We are ready for it. We'll deal with whatever happens afterwards. We're going to be helping people. Probably more me than my dad. Just he'll be helping people in the way that he can. I'm going to be walking down my street. Some people left, some people didn't. There are different evacuation zones in our neighborhood, so we're going to be sending pictures and doing everything we can there. And then if the power is really bad and going to be out for a long time, and maybe we'd be able to make more of a difference somewhere else, like Tallahassee, we will probably hop up there for a few days and then come back maybe later on. So our options are open. We're really blessed and not really afraid of the aftermath. We're going to be ready for whatever comes. Like I said, outside of some kind of tornado, which that happens, you can't control it. There's tornadoes right now in South Florida outside the storm. Major, huge, what do they call it? They didn't call it life-threatening, but they had some acronym for it. By the way, I've been watching Ryan Hall, y'all, Max Velocity, all these YouTubers literally crushing it, covering the storm that I appreciate so much, because when you can't figure out which news station is maybe going a little over the top or downplaying it too much, or they're on commercial, well, guess what? The YouTubers, the live streamers are the best. Shout any of them out in the chat that you guys are watching. Thank you so much to all those guys and gals that are doing it. They've got boots on the ground. They've got planes, trains, and automobiles out there covering different areas. They've been amazing. YouTube is a really crazy place. It can be kind of frustrating sometimes. I get it, but it's really cool what technology has done throughout all this, and we'll see what technology continues to do.
Pretty much average. When we say consensus, it's pretty much average. So I'm seeing all sorts of messages, tornado warnings in Fort Myers. I still get the notifications, and I was a meteorologist down there for 10 years, so I know that area pretty well, as you know this area pretty well. So I still get the notifications and whatnot, and I think these tornado warnings eventually, unfortunately, are going to move northward as this system moves to the north.
Yep, I get all the notifications when something spins up in Tampa Bay, so I know exactly what you mean. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's that very strong band, and now we're starting to see what it's doing out there. Just you're going to see. I have a feeling this could very well be a fairly prolific tornado producer, just kind of the dynamics at play. That big jet coming in is going to increase the wind shear across the peninsula even more. I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of tornado warnings issued here in the next 6 to 12 hours.
And we'll, of course, be bringing you on-air coverage with our tornado warnings when they are issued. We get the alerts immediately. In fact, every time. Okay, so there's a 12 o'clock update on Milton that just came down. There it is. Maximum speed 145 miles an hour. Nothing changing. Movement speed 17 miles an hour. No track update, but I want to read what the update is.
I think it's a position update.
Okay, so. Yeah, no, it is positional.
Yeah, because so if you look at the wobble tracker, it does appear that it may be a little bit west of that track.
A little north.
Can you see that? Yeah.
I see it. Yep.
And I kind of figured that would happen because it's not just going to take, that hard right turn. It's going to gradually move and then correct itself. But let's see how much longer this moves in that general direction before it moves to the northeast.
All right, I think you guys got the idea. If we want to bring it up again later, we can, and see kind of what the live coverage is, if that's something you guys are interested in a little bit. But first, yeah, the 12 to 18 inches of rain, that's tough. I think we're live on Instagram too. Mimi86 asked what part of Florida you're in. We're in the Tampa Bay area. So yeah, Kelsey's going to send me some of the comments on Instagram. I can't see them right now, but we're live there as well. I think we're live on Twitter as well and Facebook. So wherever you're watching, thank you. Hit the like button if you guys haven't already. Make sure you subscribe to the page, all the YouTube things through the storm. Bev said, take care of each other, XO. Isaiah 42, 2 and 3. When you go through deep waters, I will be with you. When you go through rivers of difficulty, you will not drown. For I am the Lord, your God, the Holy One of Israel, your Savior. Thank you, Bev. Thank you, Bev. Yeah, it's a wild time right now, right? It's definitely a wild time and a lot of unknowns, and people hold firm to their beliefs, and that's one that we hold to for sure. Liz Reed, the Reed family says hi from Massachusetts to Florida. Stay safe. Thanks for your knowledge on my sister's case. Now, I don't want to be presumptive, but if Reed from Massachusetts has a sister named Karen Reed, talking about her if it's a specific case that we actually handled for your sister, because we have a lot of people on YouTube that we represent as well. So regardless, thank you, Liz, for saying hi and checking in here and sending your prayers our way. Ashley, hope you and your family stay safe. Can you and Papa T please cover the Betterow letters? I don't know what that means. Betterow, the lawyer I'm not going to say on YouTube. I don't mean, people call me the lawyer on YouTube, so I hope he doesn't take any offense if I say the lawyer on YouTube. That's how I know his name. It's wild. More MSP corruption tied to other cases we're covering. Yeah, Ashley is I don't even know if you're in Massachusetts, but you feel like my boots on the ground. I feel like she sends me more messages on Karen Reed than just about anybody. John, does your house have a hurricane rating, or do all structures in Florida have some sort of hurricane rating? I don't know the answer to that. Ours is all updated, brand new stuff in the last 10 years, Cat 5, hurricane clips, straps. It all has to do that for the 4-point inspection, but I don't know.
It's a code. You have to. It's a hurricane code.
Past a certain date.
Right. On this date, you have to have this stuff. On this date, you have to have this stuff. So it depends on when your house was built, whether it satisfies the code at the time it is. But when you remodel a house, you've got to satisfy the new codes.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of depends on when the last major construction was of your house as how code worthy it is. There's no specific rating.
Yeah, the last guy that owned the house before I bought it redid everything like to the nines perfectly, did a great job, and all of that was included in it. There is one thing, John, that kind of goes along with this question that I always thought was weird about my parents' house. So you guys have had it forever, you've remodeled it a million times, but it's still ground level. Basically, 90% of the houses on the island where they're at now are up on stilts. So when the water comes through, it floods the garage, but not into the house. Why never put it on stilts?
Because if you remodel under 50% of the value of the house,
Right.
FEMA does not require you to put the house on stilts.
Right, but why
So
wouldn't you
every
want
time-
to?
Money.
Oh, just it was
It's
cheaper
gonna
to
cost
keep it like that.
are
Oh,
you
okay,
kidding?
okay.
It's going to cost a ton of money to raise
I get
that
it,
house
but I
up.
mean, well, maybe if it floods now, we put it up on stilts.
if it
We
does,
knock it down and put
maybe
it up
I'll
on
tear it
stilts.
down. I'm
Yeah,
going to say,
yeah. Mandy, you don't have a Generac where you are a necessity. So, Mandy, this is a great point. And I actually looked at it. I had them come out. They measure everything just for that house, right? It's like 2,200 square feet and is everything we need over there. And so I was just going to do that house. And it was like $18,000. And they told me like 3 to 5 days it would get me through with no power and not even powering everything. From my perspective, if it's that bad, I can last a day or two without power. If it's going to be a week or more without power, I would probably leave, would be my thought, unless power was coming. So I didn't get it. It was really expensive, and it didn't seem like it was going to really fill the gaps we might need to fill.
Plus, you're in a flood zone.
I'm not in a flood zone.
Oh, you're not.
No.
Oh, okay.
All right, hold on. We have another. Are you in an area that should evacuate? Drip Beauty Room said. So no, it's basically optional where we're at to evacuate. We don't usually evacuate from here. We have from some of the other houses we've lived in the past, but not from this one. I was just north of Mississippi coast during Katrina. So scary, but we made it. Be careful and download good movies. I recommend Godfather Part 1 and 2. So yes, as soon as I get through these comments, I do want to go through favorite hurricane movies and what I have downloaded for this one. Rebecca said, I have to jump onto a trauma coordinator meeting. I just wanted you and your family to know that mine are praying for you. Thank you so much, Rebecca, and everybody up north there, the Dakotas area. Marilla, Tragos Law greatly helped my daughter after she was injured by a drunk driver. We are both praying for your family now. Thank you for Marilla. Oh, it froze again. I think it's just this camera that's freezing. Let's try just going to this, see if that works. Yeah, okay. We're back on the computer camera, which is not as good. So sorry. I know it's like shocking when it looks so bad afterwards. Thank you so much, Marilla. And we're so happy we can help. And it's so awesome that YouTube can connect people to be able to help in difficult times like that. And you guys can let me know in the chat if you can't hear me or you can't see me. And Kelsey, you can let me know too. Lindsay Ann, Papa T, you may have known my uncle John Hubbard, Dunedin City Attorney.
Absolutely.
Is he related to the Hubbards we know?
No.
Okay, different Hubbard.
Yes, but absolutely. Knew him well.
Awesome. A-Care 15, have you written your name on your legs? No, we have not. Maria, Tragos family, stay safe, evacuated from Pinellas Park. Yeah, a lot of people evacuating, getting to safer places, which is great. Unfortunately, some people evacuated south, which it seems like is not a great place to be at this moment. Azam, hi, Peter and Big George. As you know, this is my third hurricane with Lawyer You Know. From your observations between those three, which is the worst? Stay safe. Unfortunately, Azam, I think you know the answer to that. This one's the worst. This one is the worst for sure. My sister and brother-in-law are currently in Alligator Alley heading to Fort Lauderdale from Fort Myers. Traffic is barely moving. I mean, yeah, that's the worst. That's literally the worst, and it sucks. And I hope they get there safe and quick.
Tornado was
correct. Is right down in that area. Liz Reed, thank you. Karen is my sister. That's wild. Thanks for being here, Liz. Chris K, Peter, your family and friends are in my thoughts. Are John and Kelsey safe too? Is the Know Your Lawyer guy safe? Sorry, I couldn't know myself. Yes. So they're up in North Florida, and that's basically the safest part of the state at this point. So yes, thank God they're all safe at this point. Was it tough to get homeowners insurance branding for your all, Maggie May? Tough is not the right word. Expensive is the word I would use for homeowners insurance. It's crazy in Florida. It is crazy in Florida right now how expensive the homeowners insurance is. Okay, so I'm going to go and talk to the chat here for a second. And Kelsey, let me know if there's anything more on Instagram we can answer. So the hurricane movies, what are your guys' favorite hurricane movies if you're going to download Be Without Power? I downloaded some random ones like Troy, which I love, with Brad Pitt. I downloaded episodes of The Office. I downloaded Your Honor with Bryan Cranston. You never heard of it? It's like really big. I watched the first episode like 3 times. It felt like it was too gut-wrenching for me, but there's not a lot of series that people told me is good that I haven't seen. So I downloaded the entire series. So I'm going to watch that if power goes out, Your Honor. I'm trying to think of what other. I downloaded a couple comedies. I can't remember which ones. I think they were Steve Carell. I'm trying to remember. So I downloaded a couple comedies as well, which I always like to watch. What are your favorite hurricane type movies?
All right. Depending on your audience, Key Largo with Humphrey Bogart. Now that's one. If you guys maybe have never heard of it, download Key Largo with Humphrey Bogart. You will not regret it.
Okay, that's your one rec.
That's my one rec.
So somebody said Godfather. I love a good series. Oh, I downloaded a bunch of like superhero movies to watch with Maverick.
Oh, I thought you were talking about just her movies about hurricanes.
No, to watch during the hurricane. No, Twister. Last hurricane, I watched the new Twister movie, which was pretty good, I thought.
Casablanca with Humphrey Bogart.
Okay, yeah, we downloaded like Cheaper by the Dozen and ones like that. Those are some that we downloaded as well. Yes, we are in the Tampa area. Troy is amazing. I agree. I love it. Some people don't like it. I love it. Gladiator I love as well, and 300 and those, but I really love Troy. I don't know. Maverick loved Percy Jackson. So we'll skip some parts on Troy, but may let him watch some of it as well. Chick flick, Steel Magnolias. I love a good chick flick.
Mamma Mia.
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Hocus Pocus. Whitney loves those kind of movies. Harry Potter. That's a great series that my kids like. So people are saying Your Honor is awesome, so I'm getting excited to watch that. I actually am getting excited to watch that. Let's see here. Found is good. Okay, here's the other thing. Let me know, because we still have internet, full power, everything, so I can still download movies. Let me know what they're on. Like we've got Hulu and Netflix and Amazon and HBO Max and YouTube TV, and we got all that. So let me know what it's on. Like what is that called? Streaming service it's on as well. Crawl, Back to the Future. That was I love the ones I can watch with my kids, and Back to the Future was another good one. Your Honor is not one. Key Largo. Somebody said I love Key Largo. Boss Baby. Oh, Baby Driver or something is another one that I downloaded that people said was good that I've never seen. That's another one. Twister, yeah. Milton Does Florida. Beekeeper, interesting. Taken, love Taken. Dee Dee Reynolds said I swam in Humphrey Bogart's pool.
Really? Did it feel different?
That doesn't mean a lot to me, but see, Peaky Blinders, I watched 3 or 4 episodes of that. I couldn't get into it. I couldn't get into it. Charade, Papa George.
Charade, yes, great movie.
Yeah, these are all going over my head. Wanna Laugh, Dairy Girls on Netflix. Okay. Wedding Crashers is hilarious.
Maltese Falcon.
Ricky Stanicki was a good one as well. Welcome to all the new members joining during the hurricane. That's awesome. Members only live for October. Hopefully it won't be a hurricane stream. Thank you, Cheryl. Duncan said, get Super Cyclone. It's so bad it's good. Very entertaining. Also, The Verdict. Great courtroom movie. I've seen The Verdict. Have you seen The Verdict?
Yes.
It's good. For Papa T's new boat, be safe, guys. Got insurance. That's what insurance is for.
You're right.
And we're used to fighting insurance companies, which I'm sure we're going to have to do for some of the claims that are filed here. We don't do property, unfortunately, but if any of you guys have that issue during the hurricane, let us know. We can connect you with people. Go ahead.
They already called me and told me it was totaled, and they're sending me a check.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, they did great. It was quick.
Brittany, thank you for entertaining me during labor. Life's hurricanes, right? Everybody's going through different hurricanes of life, and Brittany is in labor. That's amazing. We'll be praying for you, Brittany, for a safe, smooth, and healthy delivery. I need a lawyer, onesie to match my tie-dye shirt. Much love and prayers. Yes, absolutely. We need to make that exist. Glad you're safe and together. True, they're tearing down Palm Pavilion. The Burgers on the Beach back then in the 1670s. That's Hoyt Hamilton's place, right?
I didn't hear they were tearing it down.
So I went to school at Clearwater High for a year with my generation of Hamiltons that owned Palm Pavilion. Azam said Supernatural, Peter, obviously. Azam's still pushing for that. Marissa, Yellowstone, 1823. Yes, we watched all those. So I'm a little bit weird when it comes to movies and shows. I really only like to watch them once and for the first time. And once I watch things, it's hard for me to rewatch. Whitney can rewatch, and my kids can rewatch the same movie as 1,000 times. Brooklyn's a little more like me. She likes them new for the first time. So what about you?
I can rewatch. My wife can't. Yeah, but I can rewatch them all the time. Oh, Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Dumb and Dumber is probably a good hurricane.
Classic. Deb N said Wolves on Apple TV with Brad Pitt and George Clooney. Have I seen that?
I haven't seen it.
I feel like if that cast, I would have seen it. A-Care15 said Papatino's the classics. I agree with all his choices. You guys should be writing down all the suggestions. So I can go back and rewatch the live chat, which is a great thing. And for all of you guys that are putting any suggestions on that are getting on screen, I'll see those as well. So Day After Tomorrow is one we just recently watched, which I love. I've rewatched it a couple times. So that's a great suggestion as well. And if you haven't seen it, Jury Duty on Amazon, they trick a guy into thinking he's on the jury, but everyone except him is improv actors. Hilarious. Have you seen it?
Yes.
I saw a couple episodes. I didn't finish it, but it was hilarious. I need to finish that. That was one that was hilarious. I don't know why I didn't finish it. Okay, so let's transition now. Hunt for Red October. That's a good one. The Atom Project. I saw that one as well. All right, we're going to transition for a second into food. Hurricane snacks. Big thing. So for this year, some of my favorite hurricane snacks are protein bars, chomps. They're not at all Slim Jims. So don't even call them a Slim Jim, or whoever tries them will realize they taste nothing like a Slim Jim. A Slim Jim is its own primo disgusting snack. Chomps is a little bit healthier, at least so I've been sold that. So we get chomps, protein bars, potato chips, sweet and salty like popcorn, like kettle corn, popcorn or whatever. Love that. If I got to eat out of a can, it's like SpaghettiOs. I love SpaghettiOs, brings me back. What about you? What are some of your favorite hurricane snacks?
Moose Tracks.
Ice cream?
No, Moose Tracks is popcorn with chocolate all mixed with it.
I've only heard of
Chocolate
Moose
and
Tracks ice cream, but
no, it's all chocolate mixed in with it.
yeah, my dad. I would think my dad would say something you leave in the freezer for a hurricane snack. It's like it's not really. It's more of the non-perishables, but okay.
No. Moose Tracks is not perishable. I go with like chips and with onion dip.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I have to have
Although onion dip doesn't have, you can't refrigerate it.
You don't have to refrigerate it.
Onion dip?
Until after you open it. But if you eat it all,
you eat it all in one sitting.
You eat it all in one
All right,
sitting. You don't have to worry about
Excuse me for that. Trail mix, always a good one.
it. Yep. M&M's, just M&M's general.
What is Red Vines?
I don't know.
I don't know what Red Vines is. Yeah, peanuts. Love peanuts. We're all little nuts, so that works. My Cousin Vinny's a great movie.
Oh, yeah.
Popcorn and M&M's mixed. That's a clutch snack. Bougie Slim Jims, Future said. Yeah. I don't know, man. Slim Jims taste so much better to me, but I know they're worse for me. I know. Popcorn, even if you don't have electricity. Oh no, SpaghettiOs. Epic jerky. I love beef jerky. So yeah, beef jerky is another good one. Hurricane cocktails. I won't be partaking, but I have a feeling some other people will in my house. Peanut butter and honey Uncrustables. Oh, I watched The Night Agent and liked it a lot.
Yes, I did too.
PB&J. Yeah, Whitney's big on. She's like, we got lots of peanut butter and lots of bread. On like road trips, we take that. Is that weird? And we just like slap some peanut butter on bread while we're driving.
Well, you don't need to refrigerate it.
Yeah.
It's great.
And I love it. And my kids love it too.
I do too.
Brownie Moose Tracks. Twinkies. Oh, speaking Slim Jims and Twinkies, that's like two peas in a pod. Toffee popcorn. Contributing to the Chomps Fund. Cheese balls. Oh, I love cheese balls. You guys are like hitting all of my guilty pleasures. Salt and vinegar chips, always good. My mom loves those. Fresh fruit, also good. Be More, seems like you and Maverick have the same movie taste. He loves that movie too. Apples and peanut butter, that's a good one. See what we got in here. Dee Dee said, I felt like a superstar, lol, but my Nana was on cloud 9 and watching her experience, that has become an amazing memory. Stay safe. She's talking about swimming in Humphrey Bogart's pool. Rachel, what's up, Doc? Barbara Streisand and Ryan O'Neal's Screwball Fun, one of my favorites. You know what?
Screwball Fun, no, but the other ones I do know.
Okay. I think Screwball Fun is just describing the type of fun it is watching it with a screwball comedy. I could be wrong. Paul Printed Heart, how are your kids through these hurricanes? Mine go to movie is still My Cousin Vinny. They're pretty not traumatized. They're Florida kids, you know, like they not traumatized at all to this point. Hopefully it stays that way because thank God we've been safe through all of them. Rear Window, Rounders. I love Rounders. Dial M for Murder. Never seen that.
Good movie.
I love Rounders. All Mama, Go Jackets, stay safe. So there was somebody, I don't know if this is her, but somebody wrote me an email after the Georgia Tech Florida State game. Georgia Tech is the Yellow Jackets, in case anybody's wondering. That's why this story is coming up. Somebody wrote me an email and said, my son, so I heard you mention Chris Winkie, and I don't know if you know this, but Winkie is a quarterback's coach for Georgia Tech. So Winkie is one of my favorite players of all time. All my fantasy football names used to be Ward, Winkie, and Winston, which are the 3 W quarterback Heisman Trophy winners in Florida State history: Charlie Ward, Chris Winkie, Jameis Winston. And so I love Chris Winkie. He's one of my favorites of all time. My favorite memories are Chris Winkie, Peter Warwick, back in those days when we were amazing for year after year after year. She's like, we love Chris Winkie. He's a coach of my son who plays for Georgia Tech. This was right after Georgia Tech beat Florida State week 1. We were supposed to be good, and we just suck. But it hurt. And she's like, yeah, my son is the backup quarterback there. He scored the first touchdown against Florida State. I was like, yeah, I remember. And my first inclination when I read the email was like, this hurts. I don't know if I want to respond, but I did. And she was very nice, and it was very cool. The people that watch this always amaze me. Peter, you said SpaghettiOs, the best. I know. Literally the best. My kids don't even eat SpaghettiOs. I don't know why, but
mac and cheese.
Oh, Whitney got 20 boxes of Kraft mac and cheese. Yeah. Because we have propane gas, grill, burner, huge propane tanks over in the pool house that heats our pool as well. So we'll be able to cook that kind of stuff, boil water. So we'll be totally, like when I say we'll be totally fine, as long as our roof is on our house, I mean, we will be totally fine. We may be bored, but who cares? So thank you for the prayers, but you do not have to worry about us not being okay. Even if we can't get out and people can't get in, we will be okay. Maria, Peter, Chef Boyardee, hubby loves it. Of course, the classics. Chris, Chicago mixed kettle corn and cheddar popcorn together. That's good. You used to like that like caramel popcorn. That's disgusting. I can't eat that. That's disgusting. Like the stuff that was in Cracker Jacks. Oh, gross. Dana, Peter, are there correction centers in the path of the hurricane? What do they do in evac situations? Are there corrections?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
you mean like
are.
jails? Okay. Yes.
There are.
So they'll go to shelters, but a lot of the jails are shelters.
A lot
A lot of them are built as
You
shelters.
got to realize we're probably talking concrete block
Yeah.
and barred. We're not talking about things that are going to blow over real easy.
Right. Popcorn with melted chocolate. That's what you were talking about.
Yeah.
I eat SpaghettiOs out of the can all the time. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I never do anymore because I feel like it's inappropriate for an adult. But in hurricane times, it's like, what do you expect from your guy? It's like the Michael Jordan guy, right? What do you expect? If the power goes out, excuse to get all the ice cream and eat it out. So my wife literally just air fried everything in our fridge. All the mini pizzas, all the spring rolls, chicken nuggies. Like we've got a smorgasbord of air fried food right now on the island in our kitchen. Fracture is good. I think she means Misery, which I got to be honest, there's not a lot of movies that freak me out. Misery is one that freaks me out. Like that's one of the creepiest movies.
Misery was depressing.
I mean,
that really
was,
yeah.
Imagine being that guy. Sixth Sense, also an amazing movie. I couldn't find your Brendan Dassey video link. So, interestingly enough, I don't know if you remember this, we did a podcast on Making a Murderer.
Yeah.
So, it's not on YouTube. It is only a podcast. So, if you go to Spotify, iTunes, whatever, we have all of our old podcasts. It's the Making a Murderer. I think we did multiple parts on it, if I remember correctly. So, I don't know what it sounds like. I don't know if we're much different back then, but it was in the early days of the podcast. And this media starting for Tragos Law. So nice to see you both together. My sister and I are Knowles, and we wish you and your family well through this hurricane. Be safe. Thank you so much, Robin. And that's another one of life's storms we're going through is being Florida State fans this football season. It's brutal. My dad's going up for a game in a couple weeks.
Yep, I am.
But we were going to win that one. He's going up against like Coastal Carolina.
We
or
might,
whatever.
because I think Coastal Carolina beat somebody this
Oh,
week.
no. If we lose to them,
So-
it's over.
I know.
I'm not eating poop, though. I'm not eating poop if we lose to them. Tim, ya boy, I played high school hockey against Chris Winkie in Minnesota. He was a good hockey player, too. Not only that, but if you remember, Chris Winkie was the old man when he came to Florida State because he went and played Major League Baseball before coming to Florida State. So that man is what you call hashtag athlete. By the way, the eat poop thing was not a weird thing I said. There's this big thing that went out in Twitter where this guy said, if we lose next week, I'm going to eat poop. And we did lose. He had to like shut down his Twitter and it went viral. That's what I was
I
referencing
think,
there.
and this is go back to Mary, but I think Winkie was 23 when he went back to Florida State and started playing.
Yeah, because I
football.
think he finished at like 26 years old or something.
Yeah.
Rachel Mays, mixed candy corn and salted peanuts. I don't like candy corn, but maybe there's something else I
don't
could
like- I
mix
don't like
with it.
candy
Yeah,
corn.
I love salted peanuts, so maybe some other sweet.
Reese cups.
Yeah, you love Reese Cups. Grumpy Old Men 1 and 2 for the movie pick. Clara or Sierra? Sierra. Sorry, it's hard to see some on this. A must. 7 Days in Utopia. Great movie. Robert Duvall about golf on Amazon Prime. Have you seen that? I haven't seen that.
No. The greatest game ever played, or the
I
greatest.
can't understand what you're saying. They're like talking to me through the window. I can't understand what you're saying. All right, whatever. Mitza Mia. What? I can't understand what you're saying. You can come out and say hi if you want.
You
It's
wanna
just
say hi?
pointing right here if you want to say hi.
Come on, come between us.
This is Brooklyn. Just wanted to say hi. Everybody say hi to Brooklyn. She's been like like the window into my house is right in front of us. So she's been like banging on it. Mitza May. Oh my gosh, Papa T. I grew up on potato chips and onion dip. My parents divorced when I was 9 and I stayed with my dad, but he didn't know how to cook. Chips and dip was our go-to. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Healthy.
Nostalgic. Air frying. Yes, Whitney's awesome. I'll tell you what, something that changed our life was the air fryer because I love the air fryer. I absolutely love it. We won't be able to use it if the power's out for the next couple days.
We bought one. We've used it once.
That's it. Well, Mom
We
cooks. I mean,
We used it one
it's
time.
Mom probably thinks it's like beneath her to use the air fryer, but we love it. All the chat is flooded with Hi Brooklyn chats. She came out and said, "What's up?" a minute ago. Of course, wearing her Florida State shirt. Jenny, I feel like all of these foods you're mentioning must be our age. I'm 41. I think you might be younger. Yeah, I'm 30. I'll be 37 in literally a week. A week from today is my birthday, folks. I'm 41. I think you might be younger.
Look,
Oh, here we
got
go.
another
Here we
visitor
go.
What's up, man? I'm awesome.
It's okay. That's Maverick. He's quite a ham. I think you might be younger. SpaghettiOs are my favorite. Praying hard for safety and protection from you all. Love from Texas. Thank you so much, Jenny. Everybody say hi, Maverick, now in the chat, of course. I'm sure he's going to want that. And my dad's trying to get my mom out. All you guys are like, why don't you ever have your mom on? My mom refuses. She's invited. Watch out. My dad's just like slamming doors and stuff. So yeah, my mom does not want to come out. Break the chair. Anything good there?
Yeah.
So my mom said no to coming out. We invited her. Series premiere Matlock. So the new Matlock, who is it? It's a female Matlock. Who's playing
I
Matlock?
have no idea.
I can't remember. Let me know who's playing Matlock.
I
think it's
never
a
like
female
I never
lead.
like those shows though that come back
Okay.
from old classics.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you don't like lawyer shows because
No, you can't
They're
you
so
can't
unrealistic.
duplicate the classic.
what's your favorite lawyer show?
Oh, Perry Mason.
Really?
Oh, I
My
love
favorite
Perry Mason.
is Suits. What's your favorite lawyer movie? Do you need to think about it?
I'd have to think about
Mine
it.
is A Few Good Men. I love it.
You see, there's a couple I really liked. Verdict, I liked. Liar, Liar.
That's the best lawyer comedy.
No,
But that's it. Those are your favorites.
a favorite, yeah. The TV show though was what's the one from Boston Legal?
Yeah, that's your favorite for sure. That's the
Boston
one you
Legal.
watch the most. We watched a ton.
We
of
watched
those.
those together a lot.
My dad always used to want to. We don't have a balcony at our office, but if we had a balcony, sit out, smoke a cigar, drink some scotch, like they did at the end of every episode of Boston Legal. I love rounders. Does that mean you play poker? You better believe it. In college, I used to play so much online poker. It wasn't funny. In high school, I used to play a ton of poker. When I turned 18, we went on a cruise, and like my dad and my sister was like giving me money to go play Hold'em, and I'd split the profits with them when I was 18, and I won enough money to buy my own Xbox at the end of that cruise. It was awesome. With all these old men and me late at night when I was 18 on the cruise, just playing Hold'em. Yeah, I love poker. George, guilty pleasure, Moose Tracks popcorn watching Citizen Kane.
Yes, Citizen Kane.
Rich Cat Ranch, a bag of Gardettos makes everything better. Zeslalex. Oh, sorry, it's probably Zest Alex. How often do you check your lawyer email? Elizabeth, Hulu is awesome. Be safe, Tragos family. So John monitors the lawyer email and usually forwards me along anything I need to hit. Little gust coming, just a little gust. Chomps are meat. Slim Jims are paper drenched in spicy meat, flavored, packed into chicken skin, popcorn with Parmesan cheese. See, Sarah, why you got to ruin it for us? Why you got to ruin it? But you're right. I know that because it tastes just too good to be anything healthy. Shout out to Mav and Brooklyn from Dallas, home of the Mavs. Yeah, he's a big Mavericks fan. Luka Doncic is one of his favorite players. What's up, Maverick? Stay safe, y'all. DS. Mav, I'll have to get you something with these super chats. And Brooklyn. Kathy Bates. Speaking of misery, Kathy Bates is the new Matlock. How about that? I don't know.
No,
honestly,
really?
yes. It's not a remake. It's a different story. Okay. So honestly, there are certain movies and certain characters, like character actors that they don't want to become. Kathy Bates will always be the woman from Misery to me. It is so hard for me to think of anything else. She will always be the woman from Misery to me.
And I've seen her in so many
Tom
other
Cruise
movies,
will
but-
always be the lawyer from A Few Good Men to me.
but to
Always.
me-
Not even Mission Impossible or whatever.
to me, it's Mission Impossible.
Nope, not to me. It's Few Good Men. Denzel Washington will always be the coach from Remember the Titans. I don't know
Yeah.
why. It's like certain ones stick. Even huge actors like that. I don't know why. Will Smith will always be Men in Black / Independence Day because I feel like he's
No.
the same actor in those two.
Will Smith will always.
Oh, Fresh Prince.
Fresh
That's true.
Prince.
That's
Will
like
always be
young Will
Fresh
Smith.
Prince.
Young Will Smith is Fresh Prince. Old Will Smith is from those movies. Carly, I've been through a few derechos in my life. Terrible tornadoes in the Midwest. Like you, I wasn't scared either. Prayers forever all. Yeah. Emily Baker texted me and checked in, which was awesome of her. And she said, yeah, hurricanes to you is like tornadoes to us over here. Everybody else gets more scared than we do, but we do take it seriously. We do prepare. She asked me as a joke, she's like, as long as Waffle House is open, you're good, or the Waffle House open. And I literally this morning sent her a tweet, all Waffle Houses are closed. She's like, oh no, you better get out of there.
They really did.
Yeah.
That's a big indicator.
That's
of
exactly
how
what
bad
EDB
things are.
said.
Oh yeah.
Regarding Perry Mason, the writer is related to us, and I have all of his original poetry as I am a writer too. Kraken Studio said.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
That really is cool.
That's awesome. Miss Carmen, Eyes of Laura Mars, 1978 with Faye Dunaway. No clue. Pterodactyl, movie if you like motorcycles. World's Greatest Indian, really fun movie about speed record on motorcycles. True story with Anthony Hopkins. I love Anthony Hopkins. Who will Anthony Hopkins always be to you?
He'll always be Hannibal.
That's who you want.
Fava beans.
Yeah, I ate his brains with fava beans. Yes, that's who Anthony Hopkins will always be. What about The Recruit on Netflix? Stay safe. Watched it. Loved it. There's a Colin Farrell movie named Recruit. Colin Farrell, is that his name?
Colin Farrell.
No, it's Colin.
Colen.
Whatever. I'm pretty sure the show was based on the movie. I also love that movie with Pacino was in it as well.
Oh, do you remember? It's an old series. Remember the Murder One, the bald-headed guy?
Yes.
Was that
You
was,
like Murder and Damages? You like Damages?
Yeah, Damages.
Glenn
was good.
Close, right?
Yeah,
Glenn
yeah,
Close
Glenn
was
Close.
Damages. Ciara, you have such a beautiful family. Enjoy the family time, snacks, and movies. I'm happy to hear you're all safe and prepared. Yeah, frankly, we're doing this because power will go out eventually. We're saving all the card games and board games for that. Power will go out. We've got our little flashlights and also our little lantern type flashlights. My dad buys all of us like kind of stupid one, like little nerdy Christmas gift every year. And one year it was these like
big flashlight.
yeah,
right.
big like lantern type
You
flashlights.
still have yours?
Yes, and Louise and Tim and them.
They have theirs.
We were at their
too,
house, my sister's house, and we found theirs when we were there. Mama Wolf, Kathy Bates will always be the woman from Fried Green Tomatoes.
Oh, that's
To her, I believe I've seen it. Doesn't stick in my memory like Misery. Buy something fun for the family after the hurricane. Prayers from Colorado. Thank you so much, Mama Wolf. Thank you, everybody that's on here, that's asking questions, that's making this fun, entertaining us while we have power as well. You guys are the best. You make this so much fun. I did want to, before we go, if we have anything else hurricane related we wanted to talk about, but I do want to watch the latest from JB's stream here for a couple minutes to see if anything new has popped up. So let's go ahead and put that up if I can figure out how. All right, here we go. Let's listen to some more JB for a little bit, and we'll get to more questions, more food, more movies. We got a few more minutes here that we're going to hang out.
110-mile-per-hour wind gusts possible. That is going to topple trees. It's going to bring power lines down, and that's why power outage also a big threat for us. It's going to be widespread. It's going to be inland. And then that storm surge. We're going to watch very carefully for when that water begins to rise, guys, and it's going to be devastating when it does.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Lee, thank you.
We'll continue our team coverage now in Manatee County. Over thousands are rushing out.
Okay. All right. So we're back here. That's the picture of the tornado. We got tons of stuff coming in to report it.
Let's
I'm adding them to the queue right now. But Jeff, in the meantime, I'd like for you to go over the latest weather graphics. Here's the spaghetti models. We've got also a live look at radar as well.
Here it goes. There's the storm. There's the storm. There's the eye of the storm approaching the coast. It's going to be making landfall probably 7 or 8 tonight. There's a zoomed in view of the storm right there. The heaviest bands right along the immediate coast there. Winds 145. We expect an update at 2 p.m. I suspect it will weaken a little bit more. But remember, this was forecast to come on shore as a borderline Cat 3, Cat 4, winds around 125, 130 miles an hour. And I think it's going to probably end up being that. Again, the eye wall will start coming on shore. The eye wall. Again, we have a strong outer band that's coming through. You're going to see it right now. Look along the coast, Sarasota, Venice. They've seen 5 inches of rain already. That's headed north towards Tampa and St. Petersburg right now. In fact, St. Pete's already kind of in it. The eye wall itself, the strongest winds that will gust probably past 110 miles an hour, will come on shore around Manatee County, probably most likely.
So my dad just left. He's going to take my kids over to my sister's house to hang out with their kids for a little bit. It's literally 1 minute up the road, so everybody it's okay. But I haven't watched this yet, so we'll watch it together, see what the latest updates are, and hang as long as you guys want to hang. I still have another 15, 20 minutes myself out here, so totally up to you guys. Thank you for joining us. If you do bounce, hit the like button. Love you guys. But I'm gonna hang for a little bit longer and continue to watch this.
And that will happen, I'd say, by about 6 p.m., give or take. We'll start to see the outer edge of the eye wall. And then the worst of the weather as it moves northeast through maybe the southern part of Tampa Bay, or maybe just east of that through eastern Manatee County. The worst of and then eventually into southern Polk County, northern Hardee County, that area. We're going to see those gusts along the coast 120 and inland to probably about 100 miles an hour. That means
we got we got Chloe Sparks for live chat.
So inland winds 100 miles an hour. So that's what we're looking for. Looking at least 20 miles an hour more than just some of the gusts that happened in Helene. So it's definitely going to be windier. We did have one huge branch fall in Helene, and one of our like little palm tree things fell over. That's all that happened really in Helene here from the wind.
In Manatee County, there are a bunch of officials in there all working to make sure that they can keep things organized, stay on top of this storm so that they can protect the people in Manatee County as best they can. So you just need to make sure that you are heeding the warnings. These people don't want to put their own lives at stake, but if you make them, then they might just have to. Now, coming back out here, just right where we are, the governor, I'm told, is about to speak. So I'll hand it back over to you guys. But if you need those shelters, they're on our website, WFLA.com, guys.
All right, thank you, Chloe. And yes, the governor is about to speak here in Tallahassee along with state leaders about their efforts to keep people safe. Let's listen in.
You have a lot of linemen who are working in those areas. So the fact that we got over 50,000, that in and of itself is a big deal, but especially considering that you have a lot of people that are still at work in the aftermath of Helene in these other states. It's really, really remarkable. So you will likely lose power if you're in the path of this storm. Just be prepared for that. Have a plan to deal with it. But just know that we've got huge numbers of assets that are here, ready to go, and they are going to go as soon as it's safe to do so. The other thing that is worth.
So the other thing about being in Florida and being used to this stuff is one of the things about it is people are prepared. We're as prepared as you possibly could be. And it's the quickest cleanup and fixes of any state dealing with this type of disaster, obviously, because we deal with it the most. And you can compare it to what happened in North Carolina, and we sent stuff up there as Florida. By the way, I got an update from Somebody Cares Tampa Bay, who we're doing the partnership with, where we're matching up to $50,000. And we were over $90,000 total. So $45,000 from you guys, $45,000 from the match. Amazing. You guys are the best. They're also going to be helping. He told me they're already preparing and ready for Hurricane Milton cleanup. So we've got another, about $10,000 that is going to go towards all that cleanup. And we'll continue to do more and partnering in different ways with different people. I know Ryan Hall, y'all, and a bunch of other people have charities and groups we can give to. And we're going to continue to do that in the wake of Milton. So thank you to everybody that gave to that fund, and we are happy to match it. So thank you so much for that.
Worth pointing out, It's a lot of focus, understandably, on the west coast of Florida. That's what's going to see the really significant storm surge, particularly where the storm makes landfall, and just south of the eye wall is going to likely lead to the most significant storm surge. The way these storms go, they go counterclockwise. If you're on the north side of the storm on the west coast, it may be that pushes water away from the coast. That's possible, depending on how the storm goes in. Right now, the track is that it's going to enter the west coast of Florida and then go almost horizontal across the state, maybe a little east-northeast, and then come out maybe in like southern Brevard County. Look, this can all change in the next 6, 8, 10 hours. But what will happen on the east coast of Florida is you will have the possibility for storm surge there. May not be 10, 15 feet like we could get on the west coast, but it's going to kind of be the opposite. If you're on the southern part of the storm, a lot of the storm is going to push the water away from the east coast. But if you're on the northern side of the storm, the counterclockwise, it's going to bring surge in. So places like Brevard, Volusia, Flagler, St. John's, you're likely to see surge. You're likely to see, and we've had issues on the coast there anyways with erosion and whatnot. So just understand that is going to be something that could happen. It's not just about where it makes landfall. It's going to barrel across the state of Florida. It's going to exit on the east coast of Florida, and that also can produce some storm surge. So just make sure if you're on the east coast of Florida that you understand this is not just a west coast event.
We've been hearing from Gunner there, speaking from Tallahassee, again, reiterating folks need to take this storm very seriously, also talking about all the linemen that are standing by for when the storm passes to come back in to help with restoring power across the region. Now, on the heels of flooding damage from Hurricane Helene, that was just 2 weeks ago, Hillsborough County is braced for what this storm could bring. On your side, Shannon Bacon, live for us in Tampa. Shannon, I know that county leaders here in Hillsborough also telling people that this is not a storm to play around with.
That's right, Chris. We've been hearing officials in all of our counties all morning long urging people who are in flood zones to get out and to evacuate. And I can tell you that in Hillsborough County Fire Rescue, they are prepared. I want to show you some photos that they just sent me today. I've been telling you about these vehicles. They sent me some photos of new utility task force vehicles. These vehicles can travel in water, and the hope is that will help them, assist and assist their workers to help get people in need out. I'm told that the department ordered these after Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office used them during Hurricane Helene.
Things could be replaced. Life is something that obviously you get one shot at this thing. So stay safe. We want you to be, you and your loved ones to be cared for. If you have nowhere to go, we have 9 shelters that we provided throughout Hillsborough County.
And back here with you live, Chief Meteorologist Jeff Barardelli, JB Buno here with you on stream. Jeff working the phones, a lot going on.
It sounds like a telethon. Jeff working the phones.
Working the phones.
I'm just tweeting out. We got 80 to 90 mile an hour winds across Bradenton right now. That's not on the surface. That's just the loft. But you get strong enough bands and they can take those winds from just above the ground down to the ground. So I was just sending it out on Facebook just now. That's why I'm distracted, but not really. That band.
I was just going to shout you out, Jeff, real quick. At WeatherProf on Twitter, X, whatever. Facebook, WFLA Jeff Barardelli.
Yeah. Honestly, the easiest way for me to get information out
to a lot of people
is Twitter. Yep. It's Twitter. Honestly, right now, follow me on Twitter at WeatherProf. I have a lot of followers. And if I don't have to post on Facebook, it makes my life easier because I can just post so much more on Twitter and Twitter alone.
Look at Wobble Track. I'm telling you, these last few frames are really interesting. Check this out, folks. Okay. Watch Wobble Tracker. You can, if you guys know. All right, let me just bring it up full screen here then. Look at this movement.
There.
Whoa.
Yep. It's like almost like it jogs east. That's a wobble. And it's a wobble east, not a wobble north. So it's starting to make that turn probably because that's what's been predicted from the National Hurricane Center. Let's see how far it makes the turn. Does it go directly east?
So again, just from where I'm at, and again, I don't want this to hit anywhere, okay, to make that as clear as possible. A wobble east, when we hear language like that and words like that and verbiage like that, that is further away from where I am. East and south is away from me. West and north is towards me. Regardless, it's going towards someone. So we're not hoping for any specific thing. We're just reacting to the news that is coming our way. Also, this is the first time I'm seeing this wobble with you. These are my instant reactions to what's happening with the storm. And we're kind of watching this, living it together at this point. Never done this. First time we've actually watched kind of hurricane coverage that I do with my friends or my family or whatever, doing it with my friends on here. We've evolved and grown every year. You guys have been through hurricanes with us in the past. We've done hurricane videos in the past. It puts me at ease, right? Like it makes me feel like normal life and stuff is still happening. And this is a bit of normalcy and something I've become accustomed to doing every single day. As much as you guys are here every single day with me, I'm here, and it feels nice to be sitting here, even with the wind and the rain. Like it just feels nice to be here. And frankly, there's a couple spots in my yard that flood, and they are nowhere near flooding. There's been a ton of rain, even before the storm starts. And frankly, it doesn't look that bad. And I feel better than I thought I was going to feel at this moment. You did go. Oh my gosh, Primal Fear is absolutely amazing. So Bethany, I know this is where it comes to some of the shade I get from the chat, and lots of people in the chat can let you know their disappointment in me. I don't have any pets. I've never had any pets. I don't think I'll ever have any pets. I'm not a pet guy myself. Love kids. I'd have more kids, frankly, but not a pet guy.
Which is not likely to do. Does it follow the line? That's interesting. Or does it wobble back after about an hour of the wobble? That's the point of the wobble tracker, folks. WFLA.com. If you want to check it yourself, just sit there, have it open on your computer.
WFLA.com/wobble
tracker. Yeah. We'll start moving that wobble tracker up when I get a chance, a little further north, because now it's moved north, and I think we need to move it up a little.
So the frame that we are currently sitting on is 1:10 p.m. I can't believe we're like micro analyzing wobble tracker this much down to frames.
I knew we would.
So it's on a 10-minute interval. So the 1:20. I mean, I don't know. Can we up this to 5-minute intervals? Maybe that's Amanda Holly knows the inner workings of wobble tracker. Updates, not
We're going to end up north of the center of the storm. We're going to end up with 10 to 18 inches of rain, Pinellas, Hillsborough. So again,
So see, that does suck. 10 to 18 inches of rain north of the storm, but you know what? It is what it is. And we deal with these storms, and it's going to suck a lot of different ways for a lot of different people. But that sounds to be like our biggest worry is 10 to 18 inches of rain, which it's Florida. We get it. I've got French drains, all this stuff. It's still, my property seems to flood, but whatever. It's fine. It's not going to get in our house. If it does, we'll deal with that, right? Like whatever happens, we will deal with it. The storm surge and the tornadoes are the life-threatening things that are, more concerning for wherever that is going to go. So again, we're going to pay attention to that as well. They said that was 110. So I'm going to jump ahead a little further so we can get closer to real time. So I did that. So we're going to listen more now.
That one in, and the user's name was Lucas. Thank you, Lucas. We really appreciate it. This one is coming in from Leonardo. Check this out, Jeff. I'm taking this one full screen. Listen. There's no audio here.
Oh yeah, wow.
But
look at that. That's pretty impressive right there. Listen, we're going to see a lot of these, and some of them you're not going to be able to see because they're going to be rain wrapped in some of these bands, these outer bands. You won't be able to see them coming. So if you hear your phone go off or you hear me tell you you're under a tornado warning, just get away from your windows and get inside your home. They'll pass fast. These storms are moving at like 50 miles an hour.
Let's see here. We're going to move things around just a little bit. Bear with us, and we're going to do.
Wow, it says, yeah,
that's.
So that's way scarier to me. Obviously, the tornadoes, which is nowhere near here, but it's in Florida. Those are way scarier. That's what can do the real major damage. And one of my friends just texted. I get my text on my computer. Peter is just live streaming as usual. See, exactly. Things are normal, Aaron. It's just everything's fine. Everything's fine. Brooklyn said something exciting about staying and watching Mother Nature do her thing. Hope you keep us updated. Stay safe. I will, and I agree with you. I love watching it. It's amazing. It again reminds us we're not in control. We can try to control as much as we can, but we're not in control. It's very clear with all the technology and all the money and everything we know, all the knowledge, and we're still not in full control. And if it's safe, I like to go outside and watch it. It's amazing to watch. There's no real other way to kind of explain it. Nicole Wheeler, what's up? Sending good vibes from Abu Dhabi. Glad the Tragos tribe is together and ready. We will be praying for you. Thank you so much, Nicole. I mean, this is crazy, right? She's in Abu Dhabi, couldn't be further away. I guess she could be further away technically, and still sending prayers our way, watching, hanging out with us. I mean, it's wild to me. YouTube is wild. YouTube literally blows my mind. So thank you, Nicole.
Something our team needs to be aware of. I believe that our team in the newsroom is listening. The National Weather Service website appears to be down based on what Jeff's looking at. So that's not a good time, obviously.
Actually, wait a second. Let me just see here. For some reason, this with Ian, right? So, if you're north of the center of the storm, you should expect that you're going to see some evacuation of water from the bay and the intercoastal waterways.
This is Rachel saying conditions right now in Lakewood Ranch.
So like with the storm surge, the water all surges up. It's got to come from somewhere. So it sucks from somewhere. And this is my amateur meteorology. I have no idea what happens. Like once all the water gets sucked out, it's got to come back. Is that a storm surge when it comes back? I don't know. I'm listening. I'm learning just like all of you are. And now I know what it feels like when you guys are watching like a trial, right? That's exactly how I feel when I watch this hurricane coverage and I hear all these meteorologists and Ryan Hall and everybody that comes on JB's show. I remember, or I try to learn as much as I can, and then it all kind of goes away till the next hurricane comes. So I catch the vibes.
Ranch. Let's bring up some audio here and listen to Rachel in, again, Lakewood Ranch. Yep, conditions certainly picking up there, and this is a spot that could see significant impacts from Hurricane Milton. Again, we've been talking about Lakewood Ranch for several days now. Please be safe if you're joining us from that community. Next up, we have this one coming in from Noah. Go to Noah and see if we can listen in.
I mean, literally, just to shout, South Africa, that's so wild. And Donna from New Zealand. I mean, it's brings people together, right? That's what social media was supposed to do. The positives of social media is supposed to bring people together, maybe even teach them something, like on this channel, like on all the meteorology channels right now. When something's going on, it's affecting your life or people you care about, you can learn about it, you can know more about it, you can be educated about it. That's what I think are the good things that we need to pour more into, and it needs to be more of a focus for social media sites like YouTube. So there's plenty of bad and lots of social media, but let's highlight and appreciate some of the good when it comes. Forecast is for it to direct hit the Tampa to Sarasota in a few hours. Yep, daybreak. That's what I'm seeing as well. We'll continue to be updated. We're at the top of the storm, which is better for the storm surge, worse for the rain. No doubt about it. We're going to be hit by a hurricane. Like, there's really no doubt about it. Category 3/4 hurricane, major hurricane. It's coming. Like, no doubt about it. We're prepared. Being in Florida, why not get solar panels? Well, hurricanes can rip those right off your roof, right? I wouldn't say I'm like against solar panels. We just don't have them. I've heard horror stories about how they ruin people's roofs. People have called me wanting to file lawsuits. We don't specifically do that, but I have heard some bad things about that. Have you seen those augmented reality or computer generated segments showing how high the storm surge can get compared to a person? Wild stuff. Yes. Incredibly wild, John. I thought you were going somewhere else when you talked about augmented reality or computer generated stuff. But I have no idea what to believe in any of that. I won't believe it till it's proven. All right, let's keep listening here. Get closer to the up to date.
It was supposed to, right on time.
Well,
I mean,
but that almost
more of a turn, do you think?
I think it feels like a well. Look, that's certainly a wobble east northeast, right?
It might actually be a real turn, not just a wobble. Because remember, we were expecting the dynamics of the jet stream to start turning this eastward when it got close to the coast. That's why the National Hurricane Center track is pointing it in rather than up. Look at the past track; it was going north, and they knew at some point it would take the turn. And let me tell you, it took the turn on a dime.
It took the turn, and I think it took the turn and then some a little bit. No,
maybe we'll see. I mean, again, you don't know exactly where the central area of low pressure is just because you see the eye, the way it looks, and it's a pretty good determinant. But yeah, JB, I think it's safe to say it may be just slightly east of the line. But we'll see. Let's let this. We need a few more. We only have 3 frames of this making this jog. Let's wait for a few more frames of this. A few more. But time. We need more time. We need another half hour.
I mean, you're talking about wanting more frames, and I clearly, I want more frames. I think our audience wants more frames.
I'm sure,
right?
I'm sure they do. By the way, tornado warning now issued for eastern eastern Polk County. Let me just tell you the cities that are in it.
Sure.
It's really far east. It's Lake Wales. It's so if you're driving on 60.
Okay, so my ears perk up, whatever the saying is, when they do tornado warnings, and especially they say Pasco, which is close to me. East Pasco is a little further from me, but then when they talk Lake Wales, that's even further from me. But West Pasco, or when they get into any part of Pinellas, that's where it's scary. That's where we'll be inside for sure if something like that happens with a tornado warning. Stream might end abruptly if that happens.
Across Polk County, and you're headed towards Yeehaw Junction, that's where the tornado warning is in effect. And let me tell you, this is a strong tornado, which is in the southeastern part of Polk County, southeast of Frostproof. And again, this is going to be crossing over 60 at some point. So if you're in that area and you're listening from that area, where you kind of head to the east part of Polk County, you cross over the Kissimmee River Basin, which essentially it seems like it is when you're there, and then you're in Yeehaw Junction. Right there in the very eastern part of Frostproof, there is what looks to be a very strong tornado on the ground. So get inside until it passes.
All right, let's
Yep, see it? It takes like a little jerk. Look at that jerk right there.
That's
little jerk northeast.
I'm not. You don't have to use names now. We're not. Name calling is for later. Okay.
That's true. Okay. When we're in the middle of
we call them wobbles.
Yeah.
No, I mean, look. Yes, it is. It is a jerk to the.
Listen, to my completely untrained eye, it definitely looks like it's further south and east of us than it was before. Again, I'm that little finger, Tampa Bay. I don't know if you guys can even see my mouse. I don't know the technology, how this works, but where it says St. Petersburg basically is right around where my house is. I don't have a generator, but my neighbor does. That said I could use it. He's evacuated. My brother-in-law and sister, who are 2 seconds away, have one. So if we need that, we're fine. But again, like I said, we have propane, we have non-perishables. It's just going to be hot. And guess what? With all the rain, the one good thing is my pool, which is, I don't know if you guys can see my pool. We dropped my my basketball hoop in it. That's going to be nice, ice cold water after all the rain. So if we get too hot, we'll go in there. Careful, you guys like playing hide and seek, Brooklyn Basement said. Zing. And then Chris said, do you think Donna should ask Sarah on how to get a lawyer? She wants a free one maybe, but I think Donna Adelson's going to pay for a lawyer. Azam is all the way in Malaysia. Yes, prayers from Malaysia. Wild. KUC Mag, are you wearing bathrobe merch? No, this is a raincoat. This is a hoodie raincoat, man. Lawyer, merch. I did all my prepping this morning in it in the rain, and it did a great job of keeping me nice and dry, except for my shorts were soaked afterwards. But sending prayers from Australia. I mean, it's really crazy. It all comes out of the woodworks. I love the community coming together. We're not even talking law. I feel like we can just hang and talk about whatever, and you guys can talk about whatever. I love the movie and the food recommendations, and my favorite, all the prayers coming our way, makes me feel more calm, more at ease, more ready for whatever's coming, and understanding it's going to be hard. And I feel like I'm the type of person that I'm a bit of a control freak. I like a plan. I don't like when things go outside the plan. So when I'm ready for it to go outside of my plan and what I want to happen, it's a little bit easier to deal with it. And I feel like this is helping with that.
To the east, northeast, no doubt. Spaghetti models there showing this movement. I mean, this is all, pun not intended, lining up, so to speak. No, Jeff?
Yep, absolutely. And, it seems to be behaving so far, JB. That's what we're looking for. We want it to behave because then, everybody's prepared for the things that they expected, right? If people, if this is headed towards Manatee County and Sarasota County, the people they're expecting to come their way, if it all of a sudden decides to head north towards Indian Rocks Beach or, towards St. Pete and Tampa, people hopefully have prepared for the possibility of that, because look at the cone, it's still in the very southern half of Pinellas County. But still, I think people would be surprised if all of a sudden this decided to come north through Tampa Bay. But for right now, best we can tell, this storm seems to be behaving. But we'll just continue to watch the wobble tracker and see if, in fact, it starts to veer off. Right now, we're in the danger zone. We have tornadoes in the outer bands moving through. That's going to be the first thing. We'll be dealing with that for another, let's say, 3 or 4 hours. Then come around, I'd say, 5, 6 o'clock, the edge of the eye wall starts to move on shore. That's when the coastline starts seeing those hurricane force wind gusts and sustained hurricane force winds of 75 to, I'd say the sustained winds, we'll see them anywhere between 75 and about 110 miles an hour. And we're likely to have gusts over 120 miles an hour along the immediate coast as it moves on shore. When it goes inland, it will weaken from a 3 to a 2. So inland areas, you should expect sustained winds probably between 75 and 90 and some gusts over or right around 100 miles an hour over inland areas. That means mostly everybody's going to be without power. But I also think for the most part, structures will remain intact. They may be.
And again, a lot of people are going to be without power, but structures should remain intact. And that's the important stuff. Power is going to suck. It's going to be boring, whatever, but we can live without power, right? They lived for how many years without power and electricity? Karen, I am in Houston. I grew up in Florida. Interlaken. Have you ever heard of it? I have family in Jacksonville, thinking of you all. I don't think I have. I mean, for some reason it sounds familiar, I guess because it's in Florida, but no, I don't know specifically where that is. But thank you so much, Karen. Lindsay, what lawyer show / movie is the closest to real lawyering? It's Scrubs for Medicine. Interesting. I would like to have my dad here for his thoughts on this, because he's way more critical of all that. I can just sit back and enjoy it. And I will say there are aspects of a lot of different lawyer shows, whether it's A Few Good Men, whether it's To Kill a Mockingbird, Suits, some Law and Order has some real lawyering in it. I'm trying to think if anything pops out as like really great. Boston Legal had, some, but it was mostly just for comedy. Which ones would I say were great? I'd have to think about that. That's a good question. I'd have to think about that. It's something I would like to talk about. Would you or your firm represent Donna Adelson? Prayers from Northern California. So whenever anybody asks me about this stuff, I would always need to talk to the client and need to see what the story is, see if I believe it, see if I think we have a defense, see if I think there's a deal to be made. So I can't really say yes or no based on what I know through the media. If she called, I would talk to her. If anybody called, I would talk to them, right, about a criminal case. See Lucid, be safe, Peter, praying for you, praying lots for you, Darcy. Also, there's an element to criminal defense that's very different than when somebody called me for a car accident or wrongful death or trucking accident case. They don't have to pay me anything out of pocket. So literally anybody can be my client if we're willing to take the case and they want to hire us. But when it comes to criminal, there's a price. It's usually incredibly expensive. I understand that. I don't take any offense if somebody doesn't go with us because of price. Some people get offended because of price, which I understand as well. It's a hard job. It's very difficult, and it's paid all up front. That's the way we do it for 99% of our criminal cases. So a lot of times it doesn't work out because of that, and that's part of the equation always as well.
Compromised, but they won't be mowed down by the wind.
All right, Jeff, what are we looking at here with
that's tornado.
This is
Where is that?
Hold on a second. I'm going to give you a location. Alligator Alley from Porsche. Now, if you take screenshots like this, or if there's something that you think that we should see, you can crop it, maybe get rid of the black, and then it'll be like full.
County. We're keeping an eye on that rotation in Polk County. There was also a confirmed tornado that went through Matlacha down in Fort Myers.
Now that it's got the aid of the jet stream and it's going through an extratropical transition, it's going to not be allowed to weaken as fast once it crosses the state. So it's going to stay at Cat 2, Cat 1 across the whole state because of the extra energy it's going to get from the jet. But as we can tell right now, this system is behaving. It looks like it's wobbling to the east. It was supposed to make that turn to the east. It seems to be doing it exactly as forecast by the National Hurricane Center. But again, it probably could wobble again. If it wobbles back north 20 miles, that creates a problem for Tampa Bay. But it's getting harder and harder for the storm to come on shore in Pinellas. That's the worst case scenario because that puts southerly winds or westerly winds directly into it. Probably could wobble again.
He said something is worst case scenario for Pinellas, so I'm just going to back it up, listen to it again.
And if it wobbles back north 20 miles, that creates a problem for Tampa Bay. But it's getting harder and harder for the storm to come onshore in Pinellas. That's the worst case scenario because that puts southerly winds or easterly winds.
So he said it's becoming harder and harder for the storm to make landfall in Pinellas, which means it's harder and harder for it to hit in my county where I'm at, which also means, of course, it's more and more likely it's going to hit to a county south of us like Sarasota, Fort Myers, Naples, something like that. So with anything good comes bad. So we're just reacting to information. Laura, do you have a basement in case tornadoes, Peter? Prayers and love be to everyone affected. So no, we do not have a basement. Not a lot of basements here in Florida. But we do have rooms in like the middle of the house with no windows, concrete walls on multiple sides. So that's where we would go if there was a legitimate tornado warning here.
Westerly winds directly into the bay and pushes all the water in. That's becoming a lot less likely at this point. It's still possible. I think another 1 to 2 hours. If it doesn't make that turn further north, then the bay is not going to get the worst case scenario. But the worst case scenario, unfortunately, is panning out right now for the coastline of Manatee and Sarasota.
So in the next 1 to 2 hours, so by 2 o'clock, by 4 o'clock, we should know if it's going to make a turn and hit the bay hard. My French drains are doing amazing right now. It's like that's how you know you're getting old. Like you go look at your yard, you want it to rain. I've been working on this French drain. Sometimes it gets a clog. We got the clog out. It's working great, sucking the water in. So like the worst flooded areas not flooding. It's the little things when you're old, and that's what I keep looking. It's right over here. I guess I can show you kind of this area right over there, like right past that potted plant. That area floods sometimes, and my AC is kind of around the way over there. So French drain's doing its job. Peter, stay safe from Tennessee. Had taken my kiddos to Disney for fall break. We escaped last night thanks to Uber, jets, and safe back home. Prayers up for you and your family. That's wild. That's a wild story, Mama Shi, that you were able to fly out of Orlando. Uber jets, I don't even know what that is. Is that like you could jump on a private plane like Uber and just like play? I don't even know what that means. That's wild. I'm so glad you were able to get out, especially for people that are not around here. This stuff is really freaky, and I totally understand coming for vacation, having to leave. That sucks, but at least you got out safe. Thank you for letting me know. Are you hearing the wobble song in your head right now like me? Wobble with me, wobble with, is that how it goes? The wobble with me, something like that. Jess W said my cousin is riding out his first hurricane out in Orlando. Do you think it will be bad for them? I think it's going to be a really bad windstorm. I think it's going to be really windy and really, really rainy in Orlando, but I don't think it's going to be catastrophic. So hopefully he is okay. Hopefully he's hunkered down, has food, water, ready for the power to be out. And things like that, and they should be fine. Hopefully, again, this is no expert opinion, not a meteorologist, just reacting and watching this stuff with you guys.
So we are seeing that turn take place on Wobble Tracker, which you can stream, of course, all the time on WFLA.com. And I also want to point out the second development that, of course, is being noted by multiple members of our team, and really the consensus is now developing that this system is not going to be making a post-midnight landfall. Text your friends. Let them know. The storyline in advance of today was this happening sometime in the 12 midnight, 3 a.m. range on Thursday morning. Things have sped up.
And so things speeding up is wild to me because it was supposed to hit early Wednesday, then Wednesday night, then Thursday morning. And it seemed like it might even be Thursday afternoon. Now it's moving the other way. So now it's going from Thursday morning to Wednesday night. So tonight literally is when this is supposed to hit its hardest, which from my perspective is a good thing. Hopefully people are ready. It's a bad thing for that, but you shouldn't be waiting until now to get ready. So hopefully people are ready. And the fact that it's speeding up is better because that means it's going to go faster across the state, I hope. The faster it goes across the state, the less dump, the less damage, just move it across. Now, obviously, it could be faster winds and more damage and more tornadoes maybe. I don't know. But like usually storms that move faster leave behind less damage. It's the ones that sit on top of you with the winds and the rain for a long time that are the most damaging in the past. But I'm not a meteorologist.
Considerably with the movement speed at 17 miles an hour. We were doing the basic math earlier, but at this rate, Milton is arriving earlier than expected. And remember that, with, of course, so much activity see there on radar, so much activity on the northeastern side of the storm, these impacts are being felt now and will continue to be felt up until landfall and past landfall. So really, it's fair to say right now, Jeff, that we are basically feeling Milton's impacts presently.
Yep.
And tornado warnings, of course, have been occurring left and right across
Southwest
Florida.
These are big tornadoes. These are big. I mean, I got to, and I've said this before, I'm going to say it again.
And by the way, like feeling its impacts, literally you're seeing it and hearing it behind me. So like this is the impact Florida's feeling right now, which is not much. This is if we didn't have a radar with a big hurricane, a scary hurricane on it, this would be like a normal afternoon storm. Okay, it's nothing crazy right now. It's going to get a lot worse, obviously, as the night goes on.
have covered a lot of hurricanes in my career, and I've never seen a hurricane that has produced such big tornadoes. These are real tornadoes that you can see on the radar. In fact, that's another tornado warning. Let me look it up. For Polk County and Hardy County. Let me tell you where exactly.
That's important to know.
Yep, that's important to note. Let me tell you where. It is in effect for.
So also I want to say for people like Romy, if anybody has like parents or single moms or, anybody that may need, or single dads, anybody that may need help that can't get it, whatever it may be, and they're contacting you, feel free to reach out to my Twitter, Instagram. If it's anywhere, I might not be able to go anywhere, but if it's anywhere near kind of central Pinellas County from, Gulf to Bay to Bel Air basically is probably within walking distance for me. It's maybe a little bit of a hike, but just let me know and I will do everything I can to help everybody I can. If it's at all possible, if there's ways for us to communicate, John and Kelsey, like I said, they'll have access, so they'll be able to text me if you email in to lawyeryouknow@gmail.com or come through our socials at Tragos Law on Twitter, at Lawyer You Know on Twitter, Tragos Law on Instagram. Check both on both. Follow us there, please, if you haven't already. Message us if there's anything we can do. We are absolutely going to do it. Yes, Purple Coconut. When Maverick was here, it was 3 generations of Tragos men, and Maverick is his middle name. He's actually named George Tragos, just like my dad, George Tragos, which is cool. I was named after my dad's dad, Peter Tragos, so it kind of skips a generation, which is cool. And George, my nephew, which you see in a bunch of your if you watch our reels and our shorts, he works in my office. He does a lot of the front desk stuff and a lot of little side projects for me. He actually, on the clock, was helping me clean up debris Monday. But he is also named George after my dad. So it's literally like typical Greek family. If you're able, what time will you update us later? I honestly have no idea. What I'll try to do is, like, if the power goes out but I still have service, maybe I'll post on Twitter. If I can do a live tonight, maybe I'll do that. I have no idea. We're just wherever the storm takes us right at this point, but I will try to update you as much as possible. At the very least, I can update John or Kelsey, and they can update our Twister. It's the Freudian slip. They can update our Twitter.
Because Brian and I were on the phone yesterday. I'm sorry, Jeff. Apologies here. I'm just going to pivot here for a second so I can get a little bit more familiar with this.
Tornado warning.
I haven't even followed Brian's latest, activity on social media. Oh yeah, here he is. Okay, let's show Lieutenant Dan, if I can. Brian Enton X.
While you're doing that, JB, let me just tell everyone, big tornado about to enter the southeastern side of Highlands County, headed towards Placid Lakes and Sylvan Shores. Folks, this is a strong tornado. Could be an EF2 tornado. If you're located in Placid Lakes, or Sylvan Shores, get into your safe place inside your home right now. Also, another tornado just to the west of Avon Park, and it's headed into Polk County right now, about to cross over the border between Highlands and Polk. That also is likely a pretty strong tornado, and it's headed toward Fort Meade. If you're in Fort Meade, get to your safe place right now. Lastly, on the east side of Lake Wales, big tornado, strong tornado, about to cross over 60. If you're located in Lake Wales, something estates, there's along that road 60, I am familiar with something River Estates, or is it something you would know if you're in Lake Wales? You know what I'm talking about. When you're about to head over the more desolate part of 60 and you're headed towards the Kissimmee River Basin, you're headed towards Yeehaw Junction on the very east side of Lake Wales. That's where this circulation's going. Indian River Estates, if that sounds familiar, I don't know if that is what it is, but that's a strong tornado too, folks. Again, the point is, tornado warning comes out today. During hurricanes, sometimes I would say, don't worry about this one. It's not a big deal. These are all big deals. And I'm not trying to scare you. I just want to make sure that if you get a tornado warning on your phone, get to an interior portion of your home, bathroom, closet, worst case scenario, have a mattress ready to put it over your head. Again, not trying to scare you. That's not what we're doing here. I just want to give you the instructions you need to keep yourself and your family safe.
All right.
So I'm going to have to leave in about a minute or so, JB.
Yeah, you can take off now, Jeff. I'm about to bring in this video from Brian Enton on Lieutenant Dan. I believe it's the same video. I'm sorry? Oh, okay, great. That's good to know. All right, back here with you on stream, folks. Let's show everybody this. Okay, so this is from Brian Enton's Twitter. I have not seen this yet, so full disclaimer. I haven't.
It's all.
It up. And let's play it full.
Everybody's worried about you. Who are worried about you? It's all over TikTok.
Everybody, like across the country. I'm gonna go live in a minute.
Are you gonna be okay?
I'm gonna be fine.
I don't think people realize you're so close to down. I mean, you could just get off if something bad happened. You know what I mean?
I'm not going anywhere. The safest place to be is on a boat in a flood. Okay, we learned that with Noah. Everybody that stayed on land drowned. Noah and the animals lived. So I'm fine.
Do you have any animals?
No, I wish I did.
Okay.
Just 2 females.
Well, you got all the news crews right here during the storm, so you can just, if you need anything. Everybody's worried about you.
Everybody's worried about me. Everybody wants me to get off the boat. People don't. Being that I'm tied up to the cleat on the dock there, I have secured the concrete, which is secured to all this thing. I have a secured anchor point. I'm tied to the boat. If the tide goes up, I go up. As long as the water stays out of the boat, I'll be fine. And when if it's not a tornado, I'm not going to get lifted up and thrown into Kansas. Okay, I'm not like that. I'm not suicidal.
Anybody else have literally no idea what we're watching here? Like, I have literally no idea. People are saying it's Dan, so people know this guy. I literally have no idea what this is. literally no idea what this is. Peter, are there opportunities to sponsor your show, Meridian Care Club? Yes. LawyerYouKnow@gmail.com. Shoot us an email there. Yeah, I like the idea of a mattress, heavy blankets. People are saying if there's a tornado warning. My brother-in-law just texted me, wow, that guy really does look like Lieutenant Dan. All right, I guess we're going to watch Lieutenant Dan for a couple minutes. This is what happens during hurricane parties, folks.
Title, but I'm putting it in God's hands and taking it out of mine and man.
All right.
So I'm sitting tight and play it out.
Well, like I said, we're all right up here. So if you need anything, everybody's parked right here, okay?
I love you all, and I thank you for the concern. I'm not nutty. I'm just doing what my father told me to do, and I'm doing it, and I'm being me. I don't go with the grain. I'm against the grain because it's all just, you're all robots. You're all sheep following the master. And I'm the one, I'm the black sheep. I'm the one that does what I feel is right. And I don't care what anybody says or wants to do about it. I do what I think is right. It's just, God found me 10 years ago when I found him. He's been my right hand all along. So I'm here, I'm here. And I'm putting my life in his hands. This is tonight. I'm going home tonight. Please don't go tonight.
Well, we'll check on you, okay? We'll be up here and we'll check on you. All right. Thank you, sir. Stay safe. You got some time to rest. All right.
No, wait.
I struggled to catch that there at the end. There was clearly a humorous exchange, but that was Brian Enton, who I'm trying to see where he's at. Maybe we can get him on the program. It would really be great to have Brian. Brian and I were on the phone. The News Nation's senior national correspondent, Brian Enton, he was actually driving in yesterday, and he and I were on the phone for.
So we all know Brian Enton, right? Because we live in a different world. We live in the true crime world here on this channel for the most part. And Brian Enton is one of the kings of true crime as it goes with, going out, interviewing people, being on scene when trials are happening, talking to victims, talking to witnesses, even talking to defendants. So Brian Enton is all over our world. So we know who it is. And now he's out there getting the story with apparently Lieutenant Dan, my brother-in-law who's keeping me in the loop. I never thought he would tell me what's going on in TikTok, maybe his sons. But he said it's a TikTok thing. So I guess I'm behind because I don't have TikTok, but it's a TikTok thing with Lieutenant Dan. He's a guy who is refusing to leave his boat during a hurricane. Folks, is this like the Truman Show? I have no idea. It reminds me, a bunch of people have been sending me the Truman Show thing, by the way, about when they turn up the weather.
For a little bit, chatting about the area and the current conditions and so on and so forth. Actually, it wasn't yesterday. The days are blurring together. It was a couple days ago. All right, look, from what I have been told, that Lieutenant Dan has evacuated. But all I know is that information. I don't even have a source for that information. So I'm going to try to alert our team and find out exactly where that information came from. If it came from News Nation, a new tornado warning has just come in. Hardee County and DeSoto County, very much in line with what we have seen in the last couple of hours. Nathaniel,
a crazy amount of serious tornado warnings, and I heard that is something that could affect us. And if it does, that's taken ultimate seriousness. We go inside. We go into the room where it's supposed to be heavy blankets or mattresses. We don't have any mattresses that we've pulled, so probably heavy blankets over our heads will absolutely be something that happens.
Where did that information? So Brian Enton is saying that the gentleman who goes by Lieutenant Dan, his real name, let's see here, is Joseph Malinowski, and that the man that has been nicknamed Lieutenant Dan on TikTok, this is the last I'm going to talk about this because we have so many other things to get to.
By the way, take a second and look at St. Petersburg and Tampa. So this is like the actual radar with the storm. All of that stuff that orange and green and yellow is like storms and wind and rain. That's what you're seeing behind you. That's what I'm feeling right now. There are some gusts, but nothing like serious at all, in my opinion. That's what that looks like that you're looking at on the radar. The little perfect picture in the line is like the eye of the storm and the worst stuff where it's going. If it was just this thunderstorm, it wouldn't be a big deal. But you see that wall that's circulating and kind of forming. That's the scarier stuff. That's the worst stuff because that other stuff is already hitting us. And that's why I'm saying by tomorrow at this time, it should all be kind of past us. So that's how kind of wild this world is all this leading up to basically right now and for the next 12 hours, maybe 24 hours, that this is it, right? This is the storm hitting us.
That he has, News Nation's Brian Enton is reporting that he has not evacuated, but Tampa Mayor Jane Castor, that's how big the story is that the mayor of Tampa was just talking about it at the podium and has apparently said.
Not just the mayor of Tampa, but the lawyer is now reporting on Lieutenant Dan, who has not evacuated, it sounds like. Just kidding. I have no idea what the guy's doing.
That he has been evacuated out of the area, or at least out of his boat.
JB.
Well, I just played Yeah. So that was an hour ago, though. Okay. So Brian Enton snapped a photo of Joseph Malinowski sticking his head out of the boat to confirm that he's still there, even though Tampa Mayor Jane Castor said that he did actually. Right. Okay. I see the updated tweet. Let me read the tweet from Brian. I know the mayor of Tampa just said in her press conference that Lieutenant Dan went to a shelter. He didn't. I'm standing right here. So if things changed in the last hour, I do not know. All I know is apparently this
Brian Enton's like, he's still right here. I'm looking at him. It's wild.
story is big enough that the mayor of Tampa is talking about it, and it's big enough that it's blowing up on TikTok. We're trying to get to the bottom of it. We're located here in Tampa. When we get an update, we can pass along. Let me know so I can share it. It'll be in an article on WFLA.com. Let's go back to the wobble tracker and just resume our coverage of the storm here. So here's the deal. We're now up to the 130, 40, and 50 scans on wobble tracker, and we are absolutely noticing a turn. And so there was, look at the blue line, folks. If you continue the blue line north, we're talking about impacts for Pinellas County, and then, of course, unsurvivable storm surge in the Tampa Bay area, a very vulnerable section of the Gulf Coast side of Florida. But the blue line, and if you follow the storm, the blue line is not going to be staying straight because that's the past track. We are clearly experiencing a turn here, just as the National Hurricane Center forecast yesterday in their 5 o'clock update. I cannot begin to stress how big that 5 o'clock update was yesterday when we had that big shift to the south. That shift south pushes it more to being a Sarasota and Venice event rather than a Tampa and Sarasota event, at least for the worst of this storm, even though there's going to be widespread flooding, wind damage. There's going to be storm surge along the coast, power outages, tornado warnings, everything you would expect with a major hurricane making landfall in the state of Florida. As of 2 o'clock, the speed dropped just a little bit. The 2 o'clock update has just come in moments ago, and it's interesting to note that we were up to 17 miles an hour, and that quickening trend, that trend of it picking up pace and picking up speed has not continued. It is not getting to 18, 19, 20 miles an hour. We have now come down to 16 miles an hour. It's a small difference, but it is noteworthy that we have decreased speed and not increased speed. The
From my perspective, I don't love to hear that.
storm, you can see there clearly, is still a Cat 4, expected to become a Cat 3 in the next update, and then, of course, make landfall somewhere in the Cat 3 to Cat 2 range, somewhere in the area between Anna Maria Island and Sarasota. So that's the latest that we have from the National Hurricane Center. We'll continue, of course, to monitor the storm's progress. And let's just see if we.
So yes, I'm actually in like the closer to St. Petersburg on this map is where my house actually is and where I'm at. Jen said, Peter, are you safe from the storm surge? So yes, my house is safe from the storm surge, but also I don't think Pinellas County is going to get the biggest storm surge. That's where it's tracking. It could obviously change with a wobble, as they're saying here and there, but that's what we're looking at right now. For tornadoes, have kids wear their bike helmets. That's a great idea. We have that.
We get in any additional frames here on Wobble Tracker. Again, this is streaming all the time on WFLA.com. So let's see here. We are going to, I think, send it to our broadcast coverage. Let's listen in.
Talking about, these power outages are going to be widespread, so keep those weather radios handy and keep it tuned to one of those stations, and you can stay informed with us throughout Milton.
All right, more coverage of Hurricane Milton after the break.
Enhance your view with Armor View window.
All right, so back here in the stream center, let's get to some of the comments that are coming in. And
all right, I think we got all of the latest updates. We got the 2 o'clock update. It's 2:03 right now. So from my perspective, it has slowed down a little bit, which isn't great. It's still tracking to be just a little bit southeast of us. You're seeing kind of what we're seeing, and it definitely feels a little bandy, even though it's not a band. Like there'll be a gust, and then there's like nothing, and there'll be a gust where it like pulls a bunch of rain in underneath my porch and stuff like that. So from my perspective, not a big deal at all right now. If this is what we have, thank God. If it's more, we're ready for that too as well. Like I have this chair I'm sitting in, the chair my dad was sitting in, not moving at all, and it's not a very heavy chair. Yeah, I would like it to speed up and get in and out. It is not expected to be good for Fort Myers, Constance. Below the storm is supposed to be the worst part of the storm surge, and it seems like that's where Fort Myers is. Let's see what else we have here. Peter, you should do weather tracking. I don't know the first thing about it. This is about all I know, and I only know my area, so I know where it's going, where it's hitting. My hair is flying. Look at this. I know where it's going, where it's heading in my area and how it affects our areas and how we've done with other storms. That's it. I don't know anything about them. Max Velocity on YouTube is the best weather channel. He's live right now, 500K followers because he's accurate. Yeah, I was watching him the other day, and I saw his subscribers really skyrocket, which is awesome. He's doing good work. I don't know any of these people personally. I don't know what their track record is. I don't know how great or bad they are, so I can't really give them that recommendation. As far as I've watched him, I've watched Ryan Hall, I've watched JB. Those are the three that I've really watched the most, and how they are and how they're tracking it. And that's what I've seen at this point. All right, I think we're going to call this stream, but make sure you subscribe. Make sure you turn the reminder bell on. I think we're going to do another one. I enjoy doing this. Next time I sit down to watch the coverage, maybe I'll just pop on here with another couple questions. We've done hurricane movies. We've done hurricane food. If any of you guys want to pop in, let me know in the comments. If you want me to pop in again, maybe a little bit later, make sure you hit the like button if you haven't already. Maybe I'll bring some more special guests from my family if any of them are around. But this was fun from my perspective. I enjoyed it. I really appreciate it. Jen's missing tooth. Fill your bathtub with fresh water so you can flush and wash dishes with power out. Water pumps won't work. Yes, and we filled so many. We've got 1 million Stanleys and Yetis, so we filled all them up with water too. So thank you guys so much. You're the best. The fact that you come and hang out make me want to do it again. Because when it gets boring or when it gets tough, this is fun. I appreciate this. And while we never really talk about good topics, this isn't a good one, but this seemed a little more light for me and a little more fun for me than some of our usual topics, lighthearted at least, I should say. So thank you guys so much. You're the best. I'm going to hit a Celsius right now and see if there's anything else that needs to be cleaned up. It doesn't seem like it. Seems like we're ready. Going to go hang out with the fam, maybe play some games. I encourage you guys to do the same. Stay safe, especially if you're in Florida. Hit us up on social media. Stay connected. You are the best. Ryan Hall is not a meteorologist. Somebody said he is an analyst. Always enjoy it, but I know he has meteorologists on. I've seen meteorologists on. I got my Lawyer You Know sweatshirt yesterday. Love them. That's awesome. You guys are the best. Check out the merch site. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you've liked this video. But we're out of here. We're good. We're feeling great. We're feeling confident. We're feeling ready. Continue to pray. Continue to stay connected. You guys are the best. Until next time, I am out of here. Thanks for watching another episode of The Lawyer You Know. If you enjoyed the episode, please hit the thumbs up and share with your friends who may be interested here on YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. And don't forget to check out the Lawyer You Know podcast with new seasons dropping every quarter. If you have a case you want to talk to us about, if it's a personal injury case, wrongful death, catastrophic injury, car accident, or slip and fall case, please email us at lawyeryouknow@gmail.com. And of course, all these links I just mentioned are included in the description below on this episode and every episode. So until next time, this is Peter Tragos, the Lawyer You Know.